So good evening, everybody. Hopefully you've gathered by now, given my name is written on the screen. My name's Dean. I lead on the implementation of the age group changes for England Athletics and been working across the home countries as well. Thanks for joining this session tonight. This is, and I can't even count. So this is the latest in a series of age group change drop-in sessions that we've run. I was just saying before we started to some colleagues. Um, the first one of these we held in May 2025. There's been one every month since then, with the exception of August. We've had a uh, combined events special, a hurdle special, and you can watch back uh, via the England Athletics website any of those previous sessions. If you've got a question or you're not sure about combined events or indeed sprint hurdling, I would certainly recommend that you go back and watch those. And for those on the call, I will be momentarily be putting the link to where you can view those sessions into the meeting chat. So I will do that now. I should also say, um, all of the I would like to think most of the information that you need in terms of technical specifications, what distances are athletes running at certain age groups, what um, implement weights are they throwing in the various age groups. They're all available on the England Athletics website. And again, I've put a link to that sort of main age group changes holding page in the chat. Um, the, the way that these age group drop-in sessions tend to work is there's no presentation. They're not designed to be me speaking at people. They're really inspired, I guess, by my previous life many, many years ago as a university lecturer, where we used to have these things, office hours, we called them, and basically students just knocked on my door and asked me questions, and I answered them, and it was a pretty effective way of dealing with queries quickly and efficiently. So that's really how these sessions work. They are intended to be Q&A in format. When we've had lots and lots of people on the call, they've sort of gone for about 40 minutes. The shortest one of these was about 10 minutes on a previous occasion. So it really depends on the questions that come in and how complicated they are. Um, I'd like to think there isn't anything too complicated that we could come up with, but nonetheless, that's how the format works. Um, Before I do get into any questions, thanks to Melanie who submitted some questions in advance, which I will answer for the benefit of everybody in a moment. It's worth also pointing out that where we are at the moment, we're obviously towards the end of January 2026. The new rules and therefore the new age groups come into effect on April the 1st. Um, there may be some questions or thoughts about when's the rule book available, what's the process for getting the rules out there. The We expect the rules to be available in PDF form probably middle of February. Malcolm's nodding his head. So hi,
Yeah,
Malcolm.
Mark's written the final draft.
So there has already been a process with the UKA board, who ultimately oversee the rules of the sport. A couple of board meetings have taken place, and I've put a link again in the chat to the UK competition rules of competition webpage, where you can then subsequently go and link through to various documents that the rules group have submitted to the UKA board. Kind of highlights how it all works. I'd hope people will know this by now, but the general principles of the age group changes are that by and large, if a rule applied previously to the under 15s, they will subsequently apply post April the 1st to under 16s. If it previously applied to under 17s, it will now apply to under 18s. And I won't repeat every single age transition there, but you get the gist. That the idea is that ultimately the rules haven't really substantively changed from an age group point of view. In terms of the rules and the wording of the rules, we'll see that when the draft is available mid-February. It's just the age groups to which they apply have changed, and therefore the cut-offs and all the rest of it in terms of how an athlete is eligible for each age group. Um, Hard copies of rule books, I think mid-April is probably when they're more likely to be available. So, again, for those of you who use those, I will say as well, for anyone who's got an interest from an officiating point of view, we are in the process of having developed and designed, I guess, some really quick bite-sized bits of information in relation to the age group changes that a sort of credit card in size, Z card, so they open out, and that will have information like reminders of what the new age groups are, a reminder of what the hurdle specs are for male and female athletes in each of those new age groups, likewise throwing events. So there will be a bit more information out there, particularly for people to have to hand when they're out officiating or delivering competitions. So that's in the pipeline and will be ready in time for the start of the outdoor track and field season and the start of the new rule book. So I'm going to start off with Melanie's question.
Sorry. I was just going to say on that, Dean,
Yes, Malcolm.
there'll be another officials bulletin probably next week or right at the end of this week, and we'll draw attention to where all the materials lie, what else is going on, and try and write the links into that second
Brilliant.
document. Okay. Try and do that
Um,
before the end of the week.
Fantastic. So, for colleagues who don't know, Malcolm, long-standing official, UKA technical advisory group, and all over officiating. So that's great to hear that those comms are going to be put out to officials, and everybody will be fully updated. So you use the chat if you'd rather use the chat. Raise your hand on screen if you would rather raise your hand on screen. I'm going to start with the questions that Melanie submitted via email. So Melanie, thanks for those. She asked two questions, so I'll go with the first. So for road relays scheduled in September, given the one of the changes that is coming in is a change to how the competition year works. So hopefully people will be aware that moving forwards under the new rules, the competition year for all cross country, road, and track and field will align. So it'll be an October the 1st to September the 30th competition year. So basically, from the new rule book onwards, the age group in which an athlete is in off track disciplines in the autumn, instead of following the track and field season and remaining in that same age group as they were in the previous track and field season, they will transition into their new age group for the new competition year, starting on October the 1st, and they will stay in that age group for the cross country, any road, and then the following track and field season. But obviously, there are some off track events that take place in September. I'm from the north. We have the Northwest Road relays often taking place in September, and then the area road relays and the national road relays after the start of the competition year in October. So, as Malcolm will hopefully confirm, the rules group have agreed that there'll be some wording in the rule book that will reflect the fact that any off-track events that are part of if you like, a series or a season or qualifying for something that moves into the new competition year will be able to operate basically the age groups that the athletes will be going into rather than the athletes that they are. So in the example that Melanie gave, an athlete that is under 14 throughout the summer, transitioning to under 16 for the new competition year, they would compete as an under 16 in those Northwest Road relays because that makes sense for them to stick with that discipline. So that will be reflected, and Peter Crawshaw and Mark Granby have assured me that that's in the draft, which is excellent. The other question was really around athletes who are in a different school year to their sort of typical age group. So the question was for athletes who are a delayed school entry, is their age group determined by their date of birth as of August the 31st, as per the rules, or do they compete alongside the athletes in which they go to, alongside whom they go to school? The answer is it's their age group. So regardless of what school, sometimes you'll hear me or you'll hear others kind of trying to simplify the explanation by referring to school years, but it's important to note that the athletes are in the age group that they're in based on their actual date of birth rather than the school year that they are in when they're in education. Having said that, at primary age, which are age groups not formally covered by the rule book, where the recommended disciplines are quadrathlons, triathlons, combined events approaches, emphasis on fun, no results on power of 10, no rankings and what have you. Of course, we would expect competition providers to demonstrate some flexibility and allow athletes to compete in the group in which they're most comfortable. But for those age groups that are covered by the rule book, um, it's their age as opposed to their school year. Right, those were the questions that Melanie submitted in advance. Any other questions? So, Alan, straight off the mark. What's
Hi,
your
Dave.
question, sir?
I'm the competition director of our county track and field championships, and my interest is in trying to get some clarity around the under 12 age group. I'd seen an earlier document which set out specifications for pretty much all the events for the under 12s.
Yep.
But I've more recently seen another document which is saying treat the under 12s as you used to treat the under 11s and just give them phonetics. So I'm trying to work out, because I had thought that I would be putting a reasonable program of events similar to the old under 13 age
Yep.
group for the under 12s. But I've seen this other document which seems to contradict this and just give them a Turbo Jav Quad Kids event.
If you don't mind sending me those documents so I can just review where there is any confusion, that would be
Yeah.
great. But the answer to the question is that, as I said just a moment ago, under 14s and above are the age groups that for whom licensed competition applies. They will go on power of 10 rankings, etc. Under 12s, like the old under 11s, is indeed you don't need a license to run a phonetics multi-challenge event, a quad kids event, or a sports hall event. So from a licensing point of view, an event that's a quadrathlon format, and that is the format that we would recommend for that age group generally. Team event, no emphasis on performance, fun, enjoyment, great introduction to the sport. We do recognise, though, that historically there have been medal meetings and various other open meetings for younger athletes. Mark Granby, who's chair of the rules group, his club, Bury AC, put on a brilliant primary age medal meeting where kids can just enter and go and run a 80 metres or a 150 metres or have a go at the long jump. And of course, we don't want to stop people from doing that. And we support that in terms of part of a varied diet of athletics competition at that age group. So county championships, I know in Hampshire, they ran their county championships as a phonetics multi-challenge quadrathlon.
Yeah.
And that was really successful. However, if a county championships would like to run an under 12s small number of events that align with the events that we've listed on the website as what is appropriate for that age of child, so the shortened distances in the sprints, etc., they are allowed to do so. Obviously, I think there's something on the licensing application that flags that you're going to do that. But they're not. They won't go on to rankings, and it's we still would say the emphasis should be on fun and enjoyment rather than, bigging up the winners and all the rest of it. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. I think the source of my confusion was there's a document, a spreadsheet out with all the specifications for all the age groups and so on for hurdles, weights of implements and so on. And the under 12 column does actually include specifications for javelin, discus, etc., etc. So that's why I got it in my mind. Right, okay, we're treating them as a rule book age group.
Yeah, they're not a rule book age group.
Okay.
What the wording in the rule book, and Malcolm better positioned than me to say so, but the rule book will effectively recognise that we want athletes competing at this age.
Yeah,
of course we do, but we want them to be doing it in a fun, inclusive, enjoyable way. Ideally, anyway, it'll signpost to Home Country's websites basically for guidance on how to deliver fun, inclusive, and safe competitions for this age group. I hope that's accurate.
No, thanks. That's great. It's helpful.
Okay, Lincoln, you had your hand up first.
Right. Hi, thanks for the invite as well. I've got two questions about under 12s as well.
Okay.
First one is there any consensus? I saw in the shot put weights could be 2 kilograms or 3 kilograms.
Yep.
And is there any consensus growing about what it would be, or are different parts of the country doing different things? Because I certainly know that we've got leagues that are going to have under 12s in the league.
So on that specific point around the shot put and the weights, obviously, having just said everything that I've said about it, it's not a licensed, it's not a rule book age group. There won't be rankings. There won't be all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a recognition that the 2K shot, I think, again, I'm going to show myself up here. We really didn't want to create a requirement, if you like, for competition organisers, clubs, and others to have to go and buy a load of new equipment as a result of these changes. So where the lighter implements are in stock and they're available, we would obviously suggest that they be used. However, given that this is about fun, enjoyment, trying things out for the first time at this age group, the heavier of those two implement weights is also acceptable, obviously provided that there's a experienced official and appropriate coaching supervision as they're doing it, as we all would when we're licensing competitions and running competitions. But it was a deliberate either or, because what we didn't want to say is everyone's got to go out and buy a load of 2K shots when it's not necessary, when given what I've just said. Does that make sense on that one?
No, that's brilliant. I mean, we have bought some 2K shots, but they're actually quite cheap anyway.
Get them out, get them used.
And then my other question was, is there I think I'm answering the question, but I saw also a potential for an 8x50 meters relay for under 12s, which they did it in Gotsis last year for the school kids, and it was absolutely fantastic. But my question is, I think the indication is that will be a round track one rather than a shuttle, or could it be either?
It can be either, as far as I'm aware. I've seen it done successfully as a shuttle on the home straight. When we run our phonetics multi-challenge events and when we piloted them last year, kind of as the results were being compiled and published and so on, that was a great activity to just keep the kids engaged at the end of the meeting, and they were running up and down, and it was really good. Equally, if you can get around the track and everyone's content with the markings, again, at this age group, it's a bit like when you're coaching kids football and, you know, the goals are slightly different size or the lines it's a slightly missized pitch. The emphasis is on giving them a good experience rather than worrying too much about whether Ron Child has run 45 meters or another has run 55. As long as they're happy and enjoying their athletics, that's the intention. So it's either or.
Brilliant. That's my two questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Lincoln. Melanie, more questions.
Hi there. Can you hear me well?
We can.
Okay. So thank you so much for answering my question. But just for under 12, like you were saying, I think some open meets will still have under 12, like Trafford open meets. They have opened their entries, and it seems that they are allowing under 12 to compete. Yeah. But I think what people are a bit disappointed, and especially parents, it's obviously year 4 were able to compete before as under 11, but now they won't be able to as under 10. Is that right?
Well, again, this is not covered by the rule book. So actually, if Trafford AC want to put on an under a primary aged open event with sprints, races, and standing long jumps, as long as it's fun, enjoyable, and the kids are enjoying themselves, there's nothing stopping them allowing under 10s who are in year 4. To be honest, this hasn't changed. So Trafford,
I don't think they will, though. So I think that's why some people are disappointed.
Well, I mean, that's probably one we'll need to take up with Mike Harris and the team at Trafford AC. Just if the reason for that is they think that the rules forbid it, well, they don't, because there aren't any rules related to it. So
I think
it's because they don't want to do it. That's
exactly.
If you go back to again, under 11s under the current rules or the soon to be changed rules, Trafford ran under 11s events. I mean, my daughter, she's 15 now. I remember she ran at a Trafford Medal Open meeting as a primary age child.
Yes. Yes.
She just she turned up on the day.
But I think it's because now it was under 11, but now this under 11 is now under 12. So now I've seen the entries and there's no under 10 groups. So it means that
Does-
some kids will miss out, but there's
does the-
other meeting anyway. So
Oh, absolutely. But does
Yeah.
the entry system stop those people entering as under 12s
oh,
or
that's
not?
a
Because
good
there's
question.
absolutely no reason why they can't just enter that
Oh,
race. They
yeah,
are
as an
this,
under
this
12.
isn't an official
Okay.
rule of the sport.
I
We
get
ex-
it. Okay.
And as I say, we'd want and expect competition providers to be as inclusive as possible with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
primary ages, with an emphasis on fun and enjoyment rather than, perhaps people standing on the side bellowing at children and trying to make,
Yes, yes.
trying to get them to win. So
Okay,
hopefully
amazing.
that clears that one up.
Yeah. Thank you.
For Ruth and anyone else who's joined a touch later, just to be clear, this is a Q&A. There's no presentation. You've not missed a presentation. There's some links in the chat to some hopefully useful information. Any other questions while we're here?
Dean, I'm sorry, I can't raise my
Marie-Ange?
hands.
No problem, Malcolm.
I had great difficulty getting
Marie-Ange?
Zoom to load, actually.
Yes,
Just,
However, and it's a question that I've asked in recent days, and thank you for the feedback I've had from the CEOs and yourself. I'm just a little bit worried that when this actually rolls out in April, we get a flood of inquiries. Are we confident that we've got measures in place which will be able to deal with that? I mean, at the moment, I get lots of inquiries from the general website through Jackie Brett and people like that. So it was just a bit of reassurance, if you like, that support is going to be ongoing and easily accessible.
Thanks, Malcolm. Yeah, I am confident. We've got a pretty comprehensive communications plan. These sessions are always part of that, and these will carry on. Probably my intention is for these sessions probably to start transitioning towards being a little bit more off-track focused as we approach the start of the off-track season towards the end of the summer. I'm still going to be around answering as many questions a day as I can get through. So that's the comms plan is quite comprehensive. There's top tips for clubs and competition providers already gone out. Young athletes, they will continue. There's an age group changes update in every single news bulletin that we England submit, and there's loads of social media postings. My philosophy with this is I will respond to that track and field project email address that people will have received emails from. They all come to me. I'm the only person who manages that inbox. And where I can't answer a question immediately, I'll go back to someone and say, I'm getting the answer for you. Hold tight. So I am confident that we also answer it. This is obviously, as I said, we've been doing these since May. There's been regular communications over the last sort of 2 years, really. And I think probably, and I think you said it yourself, Malcolm, the sort of dwindling attendance in these sessions, these are not getting any less well promoted. This was promoted in exactly the same way that the one that 60 people turned up to a few months ago.
Probably says you've done your job.
Well, I won't rest on my laurels in that way, Malcolm, but I would say that people know that these are available. They can come and ask questions. And I'm confident that Tom, who's our colleague in England, who's overseeing the comms, has got a good plan. Ruth, did you come on camera? Were you going to ask a question?
Yeah, no, I just apologies. I got delayed at the track and thought I'd be home much earlier. So apologies for that. We've got our and apologies if this is something you've gone over. We've got our Bracknell Young Athletes Open on the 28th of March, which in our local area kind of marks the start of the outdoor season for all the local clubs. I mean, anyone can join from wherever. So obviously it falls on the 28th of March, which is old age groups, but we've made the decision to go with the new age groups with the view that it's,
I would say,
prepping officials, coaches, athletes, everybody in prep for the new season that's ahead of us. One challenge that perhaps been overseen is that the people to enter under 12s needed an EA license depending on when they're born. So some of our primary school children that wouldn't previously have had to have an EA license were now having to do, and obviously the same for everybody.
Obviously, under 12s isn't. So I'm going to talk about licensing here rather than athlete registration. So obviously under 12s, as we've just said, is not a rule book governed age group.
Yeah.
and it's recommended formats and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
On that, but obviously from a athlete registration point of view, the athlete registration in the home country, I think in Wales it's under 10s. They're mandating registration.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good flag. I think once we get into the actual new affiliation, the new affiliation year and all the rest of it, hopefully that will even itself out, but I'll flag it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that had come up through, we use roster for the entries, and that's why it's come up. So half the kids could enter and half of them couldn't.
Yeah, I'll make a note of that, and I'm in touch with roster anyway. And actually,
Yeah.
another update to provide is that combined events scoring tables are now out for the new age groups and with the new specifications, and there's been a few tweaks, so there'll be communications going out with that. But they're currently only on the English schools website, but they will be on the other home countries' websites
Yeah.
in due course.
Yeah, I think the other thing is because we're doing the new age groups before the 1st of April, I think it won't be on Power of 10 as well.
At all.
I think so.
My understanding was that the performances would, for those age groups where Power of 10 applies, obviously younger ones potentially not, under 10s,
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
but the
Yeah,
performances.
it's under 12s to under 18s is the
Right.
competition.
So my understanding was that anything that's licensed, the performances will still appear on those athletes' profiles. They won't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great news if that's the case.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. That's great if that's the case.
Yeah, and then any performances for this calendar year will be added to the sort of even age group rankings once they're available.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes. Hi, Dean. My name's Nikki McEachran.
Hi, Nikki.
Hello. I'm so sorry that I was a little bit late attending, and I'm sorry that you can't see me, but I'm sat in a car in a car park, so it's nothing to see really. My question, it was just a quick question. I wondered if you could help. My daughter was born 2008 November, so she will be an under 18 for all of her competitions. I've checked it all out for all of the competitions that she's like hoping to do and everything this year. She's just started the YTP this year, last October, and we had an email communication to say about with regard to international selection, and for under 18s it said you had to be born in 2009. Can you clarify that? Is that right?
It is, because under 18s is a long established international age group, and the rest of the world uses calendar year birth dates.
Okay.
For their international selection.
Right. So she'd been under 20.
She'll be an under 20 in international competition. So we could have aligned with international rules and gone calendar year age groups. The feedback from the sport was very clearly not to, because they wanted to stick with how we've always operated, which is on effectively mirrors the school year. And so there are a small number of athletes who will be under 18 in under UK rules, but under 20 in international rules. And it's likewise, there'll be some athletes that and actually there are some slight differences in actually the rule book will align in terms of technical events and specifications with the under 18s, but it's just that slight misalignment for those athletes born in September to December.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. No problem.
Thanks.
Right. In the absence of any further questions, I'm going to put my email address once more in the chat. And Melanie, quick question.
Yes, sorry. So now with this new age group, obviously I've read that under 10s, it will be mandatory for them to actually pay for the registration, but they still need to have an URN number. Is that right?
Yeah, there's under 10s. We're looking for them to be registered in terms of us know who they are.
Yes, but not
payment
necessarily.
attached to that.
Okay, then under 12, they will need to pay. So as soon as they turn 11 and as soon as they are under 12.
It's not on based on the day they turn the day of their birthday. It's
So
based
it's just
it's
under
what
12.
age group they're
Yes,
in. Yeah.
yes. So it means, so I've read that, let's say I register them now, so they will be registered for like a little bit more than over a year. But like, is the EA portal actually ready for this? Like, if I go and pay for them, are they going to be recognized as under 12 right away at the moment or not?
They should be.
Okay.
But I mean, actually, I should say,
it's just because
in membership services will need to confirm that. Melanie, what I would suggest is that I connect you with one of my colleagues in our membership services team, and via email, I've got your email address.
The
and
it's just because
on the website says it's anyone who does an EA license from January to March will carry for that.
And that's been the case for many, many years, and I'm very confident that is the case.
That's work for hours that we've had to do now.
Oh, perfect. Right. Well, that answers
the question. It's just because it still says under 11 in the drop down menu. It's why I was asking the question.
No problem.
Okay, that's great. I'll just try it anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So everybody, this will be available to record if you've got friends and family who want to enjoy this 35-minute session. Any other questions? My email address I've put in the chat. There'll be another of these next month. So if you've know anyone who's got any further questions, do direct them to that. Otherwise, thanks so much for your time this evening. Hope it's been useful, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dean.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Take care.
Bye-bye.